Good morning, everybody. Today we are going to be talking about why we need decimals and how to model decimals. So I want you to think about all of the places from here all the way over to here. What do you think the difference is between all of these places and these decimal places? If I have any number over here, then that is a whole number. So this would be one whole. I have 1 cube. But what happens if I only have a part of this cube? Or let me give you a better real world example. If I had 1 cookie, that's my cookie, what happens if I break it in half? And then I'm gonna eat this half. So I'm only left with 1/2 a cookie. Well, that doesn't make up 1 whole, that's less than 1. This cookie is only a part of a whole. And that's why we need decimals. Decimals are the numbers we use to represent when things do not make up one entire whole, but only a part of a whole. So I want you to imagine with me real quick. Here's a ones cube. You guys are very familiar with the ones cube. It represents the number 1. Well, what if I wanted to break this 1 cube up? So I didn't have a whole, but I only had a part of the whole. If I were to zoom in on this ones cube, I want you to just use your imagination and think about what would happen if I sliced it into 10 pieces. If I were to zoom in and slice that into 10 pieces, it would look something like this, right? I'm just picturing the front of it, right? I know this is a flat model. So now I have a 1/10, 2/10, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 tenths. I divided this model into 10 pieces. So if I have the number 0 and 3/10, remember, we know that is 3/10 because if we were to look at our place value chart right here, that 3 is only one place after the decimal, which is our tenths place. So we would say this number is 0 and 3/10. So if I were to model and show you what 3/10 would look like, I would take this model that's divided up into 10 and I would color in 3 pieces because I know each of those pieces represents a tenth. So this model shows 3/10. Now I want you to imagine even more with me here. What if instead of breaking this ones cube up into 10 pieces, what if we broke it into 100 pieces? Those would be so tiny and so small. But it would look something like this. So if I take this 1 cube and I break it into 100 pieces, then this is what that would look like from just the front side of the cube. Remember, this is 3D and this is only 2D. That's kind of where the difference is. So if I wanted to represent this number on a model, well, I have 2 digits here, so this digit's at the hundreds place, so this is 0 and 72 hundredths. I would have to color in 72 of this. Think of that word, hundredths. This is broken up into 100 pieces, so each one of these represents 1/100th. So if I were to color in 72 of these, that's 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 71, 72. This model would represent 0 and 72 hundredths. It's pretty simple. I'm breaking up whatever my 1 whole is into 100 pieces. Each one represents 1/100th. How many hundreds do I have? 72. That's why I colored in 72 out of these hundreds. Okay, now for a challenge. What do you think this model represents? I want you to think about how many pieces is it broken into? Is it broken into 10 pieces or 100 pieces? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's broken into 10 pieces, so this model is representing tenths. So how many tenths do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This model represents 5/10, so how do I write that? Well, I don't have any holes, so I'm going to put a 0. I'm going to add my decimal, and I know that my tenths place is only 1 place to the right of the decimal. So this model represents 0 and 5/10. If you need to grab your place value chart to remind you where the tenths place is, then use that. Now let's try another one. What does this model represent? So first you need to think, is it broken up into 10 pieces or 100 pieces? This one is broken into 100 pieces. So how many hundredths do I have? I have 10, 20, 30, 31, 32, 33. So I have 33 hundredths. I have no holes. I'm going to add my decimal. I have 33 hundredths. And I know this is hundredths because this last digit is in the hundredths place. Remember, the hundredths place is 2 places to the right of the decimal. So representing decimals with models is pretty simple. It's just really important that we pay attention to the difference. Are we working with tenths or are we working with hundredths? And that, my friends, is where I'm going to leave you for today. So good luck with the activity, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye, future 4th graders.